Welcome everyone, lovers of games and games of etc. So this is actually my first dual streaming and recording game. I've recorded games, I've streamed games, but I've never done both at the same time, so this hopefully will be a boost in efficiency and it should be fun. We are going to be playing Graveyard Keeper, which it was chosen because, one, I haven't played it in a while, and I really enjoy it for all of its faults, but mostly because it's a great building, creative type game, but it's kind of short. It has a limited capacity, and there's a definite end in sight, so you don't have to just go forever. It's not like Minecraft where you can just keep going for 40 years and keep doing new stuff. This has a very definite end, so that should get us to through the experiment, understand the game, and continue with our own personal progress. So I do have I'm playing on the PC. I do have both of the DLCs, currently the 1.206, as you can see. The first time I played this game, I was on the Switch, and it did not have any of the DLCs. And there were some bugs in the Switch version, like fishing, that just made it harder. But I really recommend the DLC in general. It adds more to the story. The Stranger Sins adds to the story, which is really important. It flushes out the characters and the lore of the world. And the Breaking Dead just makes life so much easier, because you get zombies. Who doesn't want zombies on their team, realistically speaking? So I guess, like I said before, I like this game a lot, and I don't really have a good reason to say why I like it so much. It's got flaws. It's not polished. It's not the perfect creative game, and we'll come to those as we get to them, but I really enjoy it, and I like the characters, and I like the kind of a morbid humor in there. Obviously, you got a grinning skeleton guy. This is gonna be a funny, kind of whimsical thing, but there's also gonna be like death and stuff, so you just gotta deal with it. So without further ado, so if you'll notice, the name Gary was the checkout accountant. A little bit different spelling, but I just thought that was interesting. So here you are. You come from the modern world, and all of a sudden you're in whatever this is, and you're dressed as a peasant in, I don't know, 12th century Europe. I don't know what's going on. The interface is very simplistic, right? There's specific things that you can do at each one of these areas. There's only a handful of buttons that you use in this game, which is kind of weird for games like this. Usually they wanna maximize. Gary's hilarious. I remember. And this is how they talk. They're just the little sounds. Let's go talk to this donkey. Might have to adjust the voice sounds a little bit. Fun and profit. Let's do this real quick. I had forgotten how loud their voices were. This is that morbid comedy I was talking about. Other than the talking skull, of course. Working for beer. Got a preparation place, a pallet, and the power to extract flesh. So you'll notice there are a lot of mechanics to this game that are kind of in the background, but it's fairly simplistic once you understand what's going on. So this is a body. You don't know who it is or what they are, or, even if they're technically human, but they have all these body parts, and you don't know what they are because you haven't learned that yet. So right now all we can do is get the flesh, basically. So if the body itself, they come in different levels of goodness, I guess, is that the white skulls are good, the red skulls are bad. It eventually ends up being similar to kind of like their karma, so to speak. So the better the person was, the better their internal parts are, the better the body is remaining afterwards. And if they have a lot of red stuff, then that means that their spirit is going to be like evil and haunt you and stuff like that. It's not quite as complicated as that, but basically white skull's good, red skull's bad. For this portion of it. And you can take out pieces of them because you have that ability now. And there's only like one of them per thing. Then you just work. And you'll notice that I'm losing these little blue pieces. Burger sandwich, baked meat. Yeah. Let's move past that for a second. Okay, so the blue pieces, which you don't even see yet. Oh, because I don't have it yet. Take the body. Oh, one more thing. So you'll notice that whenever I took the flesh out, you can't take another piece of flesh out, and one of the skulls was gone. Because the white skulls equate to, like, your skin is your flesh. Your flesh is in a similar concept to the white skulls. We'll get to the more details later. Let's bury it. So you have to create a spot to mark a site, and then you use your shovel, which apparently you already have, and you put the body into the hole, and then you cover it up, and then you decorate it. Do not use gold skulls and upside down stairs or stars for decoration. Yeah. You don't... Oh, there's my shovel. Okay. Alright, I need to make a spot. So there are some graves here already, obviously, right? Grave sites are free. This is kind of what I was talking about the limited abilities of this. Like, in most crafting games, you can put stuff down anywhere, more or less. These have very specific locations, and they're not the same size as the thing that you're putting down. So, like, these match perfectly, right? You can only put one grave spot in here, so it makes sense that you would put a grave spot in here. But these, you're going to have extra spots. You're going to have these two little slivers in the middle, maybe, on each of these. So there's other stuff you can do with it, and we'll mess with it later. But we made our spot. Dig it out. This is our energy, though. We don't have energy yet because we're still in, like, the tutorial mode. But eventually energy will become very important. He likes alcohol. What is he going to do with alcohol? It's the bishop. Poor guy. And then, so you can access these graves, and you can see what the level is. So you'll notice that the gravestones and the grave fences both contribute these little whatever they're called. The little green things. I know what that word is. I'll look it up. Anyway, green things are good. So you want more of those. So the more of these you have, the higher this number gets. And you want as high a number as you can get. And for every red skull that you have, you subtract one from these green things. So because we have 0 green things right now, it outpowers or outweighs all of our or the red skulls outweigh that. Basically, we've got a bad grave here. We need to fix these eventually, and then eventually we'll be able to control what we take out and put into the bodies, such that we'll want to have only white skulls and like the max of them. But that won't be for a while. So we'll get there when we get there. Oh dear. Hello, that's me. You were just talking about me. I get to be a cleric? Awesome. Is that normal for graveyard keepers to be clerics? So yeah, they're calling this quality. Graveyard quality and church appeal. Yep. Excuse me. So these are the days. This little sun looking emblem, I call it Sunday because it looks like a sun. He's a bishop that doesn't know about tradition. How do you get that job? Yeah, we already talked about that. Here's one Who is BB? He's a funny guy. Okay, so repair kits. Yep, craft new ones. Awesome. Crafting. Love crafting. So much love for crafting. So this takes you through, there are 3 different kinds of, let's call it experience in this game. There are red types, which you get for making stuff. There are green types, which relate to nature, so you usually get that for like harvesting trees or plants or whatever. And blue type, which relates to spiritual or chemical, like science type things, which you mostly get from a study table and from like paper related, like if you write something or if you take notes or if you make a book or whatever, or if you learn how to make, or if you make the big marble tombstones, that kind of stuff, that'll get you that too. So you do stuff, anything basically you do will get you some sort of experience, and it'll all add up. One of my slight issues with this game is that the pacing for experience is kind of off. Like you get, it takes a little while to get most of what you need, and then all of a sudden there's like no end game. You have everything, and then you don't need anything else. But regardless, getting there is fun, so it doesn't really matter. So I can gather trees and sticks and rocks. These are the technology trees, so this is a basic learning tree. You already have these guys, and then you get these. This is the experience it requires to get there, etc., etc. Oh look, I've got stuff now. So this is my yeah, we'll go back to that later. So this is my stamina gauge. You can refill that by eating things or drinking things that are related to stamina, obviously. This is your time. So time of day, as you can see, the sun is moving across the horizon and the night's creeping up. And then this is the day that you are. So it is currently Sunday. So there's a sun, there's a moon, there's I'm going to call this a boy and a girl, but this is like a Mars and Venus. This is, what did I call that? This is the one with the thief, I think. And this was the antlers. I don't know. Anyway, I think this is the merchant day. This is the thief day. This is the archbishop, I think. And this is the day the tavern girl's around. And then this is the scientist, or the lighthouse keeper. Anyway, so each one of these days is important to an NPC. This guy, the bishop, only shows up on this day. The rest of the time, he's in this quote-unquote town that you never get to mess with. You can't even see because I haven't. But basically, it's like down here, and there's nowhere to get there. That's funny. Yep. Also, you'll notice that I'm walking. I don't have a choice. There's no running in this game. You get an ability. You get a potion that will make you faster, which is very, very helpful. But the rest of the time you're doing this, which is fine. Let's see. This one? Yeah, okay. So you can see I picked up an axe, pickaxe. This is for stone quarrying. Shovel, you've already seen kind of what it does. Rusty hammer, this is for my tooling related items, creating, crafting. Eventually this will be for armor, which I don't have any of. I've got a pretty decent inventory. I've got 4 hotbar locations, which I usually use for potions and edibles. I've got stone repair kits, wood repair kits, and my burial certificate. So, since we've got stone repair kits, first thing we're going to do is clean up this area a little bit. So you'll notice that I got 2 pieces of experience for that, because it's, you know, nature, right? They got the green experience for nature, and I got some red experience because I'm actually doing something manually. You'll also notice that there's a decent amount of stamina loss. I don't have very much stamina in this game. One of my favorite things about this game is that it is not timed. It does not rush you to do anything. There are no seasons other than the time of day and the actual day. You can spend years doing nothing if you want. You're not going to miss out on anything. There aren't any like festivals or special preparations that you need to do for a particular day of the particular year, and you don't have to get to a particular spot or be ready to fish up a bunch of things on the one day instead of the others. You can just hang back and do whatever. You can work through the night. There's no penalty for working through the night. You can just take your time, and I just really enjoy that. So we're going to fix these gravestones with what we've got. As much as we can, anyway. So it gets a little bit nicer, right? This contributes... So you'll notice that this contributes 1 quality, this contributes 1 quality, and they basically, they count, you start at the bottom, right? So the red ones start at the bottom. So these are basically taking the place of, or they are counteracting the red skull's negativity. In order to get positive points, your quality needs to be at least as high as whatever this first skull is. So if I make this a better marker so that it's got 2 quality points, then I would have 3 quality total, and I would have 1 skull worth. So the skull quality, the actual overall quality is what you're going for. And you want to maximize it out by having the best of these 2 things, and you want to have a really good body in there that's just all white skulls so that you can have a really high number. I don't remember what the top number is off the top of my head. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12. You can have 12 skulls. You can actually get the body up to like 15 or something like that, but you can only get 12 quality. So it doesn't matter. You're shooting for 12 skulls, 12 white skulls, to max that out. You can see that this one's got a busted marker, but it doesn't have a fence yet. So I need to put a fence up in here eventually. I'm out of gravestone. You realize that, so this one takes 2 wood repair kits, because this is an upgraded wooden cross. It would count for 2 quality if I fixed it. So this is a higher level than this guy. The wooden marker. So there's different levels of this, and they go really high. That one doesn't have anything. This one doesn't have anything I can fix. Here we go. There are stone repair kits, and then there are wood repair kits. So this one takes wood, this one takes stone. That's all that we can do right now. We've got 1 wood repair kit yet left, but it's not going to do us any good right now. So you'll notice that each one of these little bushes or brushes, trees that are in the way, they count for -1 quality. So my overall quality for the graveyard, I'm trying to keep up, or trying to get to 5 so I can talk to the bishop again and do something. I'm not going to be able to do anything with that for a while. The fence gets better eventually, but... And then you can't even mess with this side of the world. you you can't use half of your own graveyard because of cultist activities. Ha ha ha. Funny. Oh yeah, I can't even get into the... So the church is an important section. Your quality and your crosses, your spiritual whatever, they contribute to the amount of money that you get every time you hold a mass, because you're the priest too. You're the cleric or whatever. Got a white flower. I need a technology to be able to harvest this mushroom. So why am I getting these flowers, you ask? Well, one, they're good. You use them and stuff. But mostly, flowers are a really cheap and easy way to get early stamina. That's interesting. Ah, I see. How did I do that before? So I'm getting 3 stamina for each flower. And it takes about 1, I think, stamina to harvest a flower. So odds are good. 2 stamina, maybe. So you've got a benefit. Some of these flowers are better than others. I'm gonna get this. So that's 3, that's 3, that's 3. Maybe they're all 3. I could have sworn there was 1 flower. Maybe it was the mushrooms that I was eating early on. This is your work yard. There is a big area right here that you can't do anything with yet. But you've got your grindstone, which you need an actual grindstone to use. But that fixes your items, your tools. You're going to have a bunch of these. One of my other small-ish style, and this is something that every crafting game struggles with, is inventory. And this game is particularly bad about it because there's not a good way to maintain your inventory other than just knowing where you put stuff and then having a system. So I've got kind of a system. But regardless, it's kind of a pain in the butt. So that's just, you will have lots of these. Get used to them. This is your blueprint desk. So there's a handful of these. You've already seen one in the graveyard, but blueprint desks are location specific. So the blueprint desk in my workshop area, in the yard where I am now, is going to have different stuff in it than the graveyard one. And it's going to have different stuff in it in my laboratory, which I don't have yet. So you're going to have, they're very specific. There's one for, there's one down here. I think you can get to it already. Yeah, there's one. This is for your orchard. This is for your farm, which you haven't fixed yet. So they're very specific. It boxes you into a corner of what you can do and where you can do it, which is fine. I need to fix that. How do I do that? Like that? No. I know there's a way to do this. I'll get it. Anyway. Let's see. This is where you store your wood, your logs, your big logs, which you get from these trees, which you can't cut down yet. This is where you store your large stone pieces, which you don't get until very towards the kind of like the mid area of the game. So it's weird that they give you a place to put it right away. I mean, you can get it, but you don't use it, so I don't. Whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, we're about to that point. So this is a fine place to stop. Trying to keep these to a relatively decent half an hour piece. But yeah, there's the basics. You've been introduced. I guess I should say one other thing. So this is your known NPCs is where your quests are. So, Graveyard Keeper, that's you. This is obviously this is you. You need to get back home, right? That's your quest. That's going to be with you the whole game. That's your important thing. Gary wants some beer. The bishop wants you to get to 5 in your graveyard. The donkey doesn't want anything right now. He comes on a regular basis. Royal services we haven't gotten to yet. We can't even access them yet. But you'll know this guy. He's got his Sunday mark above his head because that's the only time you can see him. Preach, pray, preach, and look like you won the lottery. Yeah, this gets filled out too. You get more information as you learn more about them. So it's kind of an interesting thing. Anyway, this is a good place to stop for episode 1. So we'll pick this up later.